New to the 2014 Beijing International Triathlon is a sprint race, creating a weekend-long sporting festival. This was an opportunity for nearly 300 new triathletes and a few old hands to feel the thrill of racing on a world-class course. There's no doubt that this event and the sport of triathlon will continue to grow in China.
Now we're back out on the bike course with professional men. We see Josh Amberger still maintaining the lead over Javier Gomez.
His head is down. Gomez is focused on him. Gomez, interesting, looks like a much bigger athlete than a lot of the others.
Gomez is a big boy. He's got a lot of power and he's got a huge engine.
Mounting their bikes at transition, triathletes will then start a 40-kilometer ride looping through the scenic Fengtai district of Beijing. Starting with the wide city boulevard for the first 10 kilometers, athletes then enter the paved mountain road for their first climb on the course. At 20 kilometers, cyclists will begin their steep climb to the base of Qinling Mountain, passing ancient temples in the mountainside. The road then narrows with technical tight turns as the ride descends at the 21-kilometer mark, following a U-turn. Cyclists will ride along the wide boulevards of Fengtai into the area's quaint villages before returning to the Garden Expo Park.
Yeah, come here as defending champions, a responsibility, and hopefully can have another good one. We have really strong guys there. It's going to be tough, but I think I'm quite fit and I'm ready to give my best.
Quietly confident, Javier Gomez, 31 years of age, a silver medal at the 2012 London Olympics, and he has 6 world titles across different distances and disciplines, including the Xterra World Championship. An incredible athlete.
I don't think fitness is really the problem here. He's had a long year of racing, and he actually mentioned to me that he's feeling a little bit tired, so that could be an advantage for Josh Amberger.
Well, Amberger is up the road and in front. This is the chasing group further behind. The tall figure there of Matt Reed and Brian Fleischman having a look around. Bennett is lurking in a dangerous position. He did exactly the same thing last year. Our current leader on the bike, Josh Amberger from Australia, 25 years of age, and he's had a great year, including a strong third at the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon.
Bike course is amazing. Smooth asphalt the whole way, which is very rare for us. Something probably not expected racing in Beijing. It's going to be challenging. They've made some special roads for us, really cool climb up through a wooded forest section, and we come back through that. That's going to be quite scenic, but also very challenging.
From the men's leader to the women's leader, this is Carolina Routier out on her bike looking strong and confident.
She's ranked 37th in the world right now and one of the fresh breed of star triathletes. Just 24 years old, and it's been a breakthrough season for her. But this is only her second non-drafting race, and she's under no illusions who her rivals are here.
I think Ashley Gentle will be maybe the strongest because she's from ITU, and I think we just finished the season from ITU and she's fit and strong. I think then maybe Ricarda Lisk as well. She's training pretty well and she's racing non-drafting races. And Laura Bennett, I think, as well. Yeah, that's my maybe podium.
Well, Routier had mentioned Ashley Gentle as a threat, and here she comes.
I have never seen her ride this well. Her cadence is just on fire. She is riding up to Carolina, and it looks like she's gonna pass her as if she's standing still. This is unbelievable.
And this is not on the flat. This is a continual rise, and Gentle powers away despite the fact that Routier is out of the saddle chasing. Gentle, a star young triathlete from Australia and the 2010 world junior champion. She is definitely going to be a threat here. Her best legs yet to come.
She has a great bike position. This is clearly something they've been working on with her. She's relaxed, she's very aerodynamic, and she's just floating along this bike course.
Well, she's had a great season behind her, but she's been very focused on it. And speaking of focus, Greg Bennett goes past Matt Reed. There we are on board. We get to see what it's like to try to chase Greg Bennett. He's flying.
Greg Bennett is another one of the super cyclists, and you can see he's got a great aerodynamic position, and those legs are just turning over.
From one Bennett to the other, Laura Bennett is locked in a desperate struggle with Ricarda Lisk for third position, but these roads are magnificent.
Many of the roads here are brand new. They've created them. They go sweeping through the hillsides and up in these great climbs, but it's difficult for the athletes because they haven't had a chance to really train and learn the turns.
And it's a very technical, as you can tell here from the view from Laura Bennett's bike looking back at Lisk, it is a struggle to know exactly how fast to go on the turns.
On board now with Greg Bennett, we have an opportunity to see the beautiful, oh my gosh, there's Mario Mola. He has just left him in the dust.
Greg Bennett is flying, and you can almost see the despondence on the face there of young Mola. Now he'll be concerned about who is coming from behind.
Mola is an ITU athlete. He's used to being in a pack. He's not used to time trialing. So this race is a very different challenge for him.
His second non-drafting race ever. His first was this course last year. And Greg Bennett, at 42 years of age, has been a star of triathlon for 25 years. He's been an Olympic representative. He's won the most amount of money ever in 1 year by a triathlete, and he is flying.
The bike is one of the most demanding 40K bike courses I've ever seen. And when I say demanding, it's not just the hills, it's the technical aspect. You're going to have to be on edge all day, and I think it's going to be a course that is entertaining the entire time. So even if you're having a bad race, I think you're still going to be having a fun sort of day.
Bennett is having a spectacular day on this bike course, heading to the halfway point here. And for every athlete, this is an important milestone of the race. Greg Bennett will be looking up the road towards Javier Gomez, and Gomez will be looking at Amberger. Amberger, for the first time, will see how close his chasers are. It's the hunted and the hunters.
The gate to the Qianling Mountains is the highest point on the bike course, and over centuries, home to Buddhist monks. Referred to as the Mountain of 1,000 Spirits, today it will be the Mountain of 1,000 Triathletes.
And these are second and third. That was Gomez heading down the hill. Bennett just about to make the turn. He'll have 20 kilometres of effort left, and he knows that this is where he needs to put the gap on the rest of the field, as well as chase two up in front. This is the battle for third and fourth, and Ricarda Lisk, the German, has moved in front of the American triathlete Laura Bennett. This is an incredible battle out there on the roads.
It's great that Laura and Ricardo are able to use each other. It's going to spur them both forward, and it's going to make it easier for them to try to make up the time to Routier and to Gentle up ahead.
Flying down the hill now, Bennett in hot pursuit of Javier Gomez, reaching speeds of around about 60 kilometres an hour, and that was Ashley Gentle, our women's leader, heading the other way. Here is Gomez.
Gomez is back down on the flats. He's hunting down Amberger and trying to hold off Greg Bennett.
Well, Bennett is going to come hard and fast. We know that. He did it at this particular part of the course last year, and this is where the pain really sets into the legs, Jenna.
They've done a lot of climbing the first 20K, and unfortunately for them, the second 20K carries much of the same.
Well, the incredible thing is that Amberger is still out of sight, but this young lady is leading. A dominant performance here so far by Ashley Gentle, and now she will get to see how far behind her competitors are.
Ashley hasn't seen any of the other women since she passed Routier early on, so this will be a great chance for her to find out what kind of gap she's got.
On board with Laura Bennett, and she has moved past Carolina Routier. Lisk is ahead of her. Routier is now relegated to 4th position. It's a fierce battle for the podium. Ashley Gentle now on the way down the hill. She catches a quick glimpse of her 3 chasers, but she has a solid lead.
Her lead is substantial, and even with her best leg yet to come, she can't ease up. She's got to stay focused.
Javier Gomez desperate to make up ground. It's incredible, but Amberger is still out of sight. He is up the road. The young Australian is taking it to the world champion, but here's another Aussie now closing in on Javier Gomez, and it is Greg Bennett.
Finding yourself right behind Javier Gomez has got to be a boost to your ego and your confidence. It's going to push Greg Bennett to just ride harder.
This is exactly what happened last year, and Greg Bennett went on to drop Gomez and have a substantial lead heading into transition. Is it going to happen here again?
I guess we'll have to wait and see, but what I love about this is Greg Bennett is showing Javier that he can still hang with the young guns.
Lisk, Bennett and Routier in 2nd through to 4th, and even in a non-drafting race, there's benefits in being with a group.
There are benefits. While you can't ride directly on the wheel like you can in ITU, you can use the pace and the cadence of the athletes around you to make the riding easier.
And speaking of cadence, beautiful riding style here. Josh Amberger is on the flat and headed for home. An incredible ride by this guy.
Josh has been working really hard on his strength. He's racing a lot of 70.3 distance races, and you can see he's just really comfortable and really aero on his bike.
And he hasn't looked behind him once. That is a good sign.
You never want to look back. You always want to keep your focus forward, and you just want to keep pushing until you get to the end.
Well, nearing transition here, and to get off the bike ahead of the world champion is an incredible feat in itself. Will Amberger have the confidence to take it into the run? We'll have to wait and see. Gentle has all the confidence in the world right now. She continues to charge down the road, has a massive lead.
That lead, in fact, Mark, at this point is roughly 2 minutes. So while she might be little in stature, she's certainly a powerful rider.
An incredible thing, she came out of the water about 50 seconds behind Routier, and Routier now is sitting in 4th position. An incredible performance. The battle continues, but Amberger has plenty of clear space.
Amberger just seems to be riding better and better. And I think that his confidence going into the end of this bike and onto the run really may put him in a position to challenge Javier for the win.
Well, let's not forget just how tough this 10-kilometre run is going to be. But he has space around him. He can take time. He can draw his line. He doesn't have the pressure of having a large pack of riders around him.
That's definitely an advantage. And here you've got a bit of winding turns before you come into the transition. He can take a moment, take a few deep breaths, and prepare himself for the run course ahead.
Tell us about the psychology, though, Jenna, of being in a lead where you know that those behind you are better runners. Here we can see Greg Bennett is the one who's closing the gap. He's getting closer to Amberger.
You always have to have a respect for the athletes behind you because anything can happen. It's a long run. So I think Amberger's just going to be focused on putting one foot in front of the other once he gets these shoes on and he gets out onto that run course.
A great ride by Josh Amberger to come into the bike transition first with a strong lead. A good transition here, tightening his laces, grabs his belt, and he is out before Bennett even gets into transition, and this is Gomez further behind.
Gomez is now coming into the final stages of the bike. He knows what he has to do. He's been in this position before. It'll be interesting to see how hard he has to go to catch these men in front of him.
Well, it is only 10 kilometres, but it's a pretty tough 10 kilometres at that. Greg Bennett, second into transition this year. He has some work to do. Amberger is at this stage around 40 seconds up the road. He's chasing hard.
Another athlete who's been chasing hard all day is the fleet-footed Mario Mola. He is not a guy you ever want to count out once he puts his running shoes on.
And he has had a World Series race this year on the back of his spectacular running ability. Matt Reed also coming in there, Graham O'Grady, Brian Fleischman also in that group. But this is the world champion. He's in 3rd position right now. He's on the chase. the bike splits. Greg Bennett once again has the fastest ride here at the Beijing International Triathlon, but Amberger just 3 seconds behind. Javier Gomez more than a minute back, and Graham O'Grady a 3-minute split.
Back to the women's race. Ashley Gentle is focused, in control, looking forward, and closing in on transition.
And she's been able to maintain a really high cadence throughout this entire bike leg. You can see her feet are already on top of her shoes. She's getting ready for what is sure to be a great run.
Keeping a high cadence during the bike should translate well for her when she gets onto the run.
And a charge is now coming from Emma Kate Lidbury, has come from nowhere and now moves up into second position.
Emma Kate is riding incredibly. She was over 2 minutes back out of the swim, and she has just slowly picked these women off, and she is now in second place.
Well, coming down the ramp into transition area, she's even gained a little bit of time, but she's going the wrong way. That is the wrong direction. This is going to cost her.
That is a mistake you don't want to make. You really need to know the course. You need to know the turns, especially coming into transition. Hopefully that won't throw her too far off her game.
Well, she was able to recover. So now we have 4 women who are battling for the podium because Ashley Gentle is up the road and into transition, and she will be able to comfortably get her shoes on, take her time, and gather herself for this run leg.
Ashley is a phenomenal runner. That's always been her strength. So for her to be out on the run course in first, she's got to feel really good about that.
Next into transition, in second position, Ricarda Lisk took advantage of Emma Kate's slight detour to move up into that second position. Good smooth transition there. We'll put the helmet down there. We see Routier and Laura Bennett behind her and Emma Kate in the background. Ashley Gentle, a powerful ride. Emma Kate Lidbury, the second fastest. Lisk, Bennett and Routier and Zhang Yi, nearly 7 minutes back.